Play about you guys.
Well, of course, now that everyone has smartphones, you can just check online.
Superman, the Grant Morrison wrote was
Welcome to At the Table with Destiny Comics. Starting with the left, going to the right, introduce yourself and
do the wave.
And do the wave. State for the listeners what you do, writer, editor, all that.
Hi, I'm Michael Sanders. I'm a writer/poet for the Pulp.
I'm Brandon Noel, chief publisher.
I'm Aileen Noel. I'm a writer and editor for the Pulp.
Bonnie Abraham. I'm an editor and a writer, and apparently I'm the makeup artist now too.
That's right.
6 hours, I heard.
Oh, six and a half
just for one
Danielle's
girl.
Zombies. Yeah.
Wow.
For those of you...
She looked.
I saw pictures.
Awesome.
I saw the pictures. Holy crap.
She was the most sexy dead person ever.
Yeah.
I looked at those when I was like, this is the most awkward feeling I've ever had in my life.
Because for those of you listening, we have our Kickstarter coming up, Big Zombie Book, and we did a zombie photo shoot for the Pulp, and it was 6 hours
on Sunday for the main zombie. But the day before, it took us like 3 hours to do 3 zombies, and there was 2 of us doing the makeup.
Well, there wasn't as much work.
There wasn't as much work on those zombies, but still.
They had more clothes on.
Yes, they did.
That was a lot of work, and I didn't really have anything to do with the shoot, but I was really impressed with how it came out.
I wasn't physically present, but just all the pictures, I could feel the work going on.
I got tired just watching. I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not part of this.
I was so exhausted on Sunday, and I was like, all I've been doing is sitting here doing makeup all day long. Why am I tired? Oh yeah, I'm really tired.
You've been focusing a lot.
Yeah.
Makeup takes a lot of focus.
Yeah, my fiance would come over. You haven't had anything to drink in 2 hours. Drink some liquids.
See, that's a good man right there.
Yes, it is.
And the zombies just sitting there like, what about me?
She's like,
you have makeup on, you can't drink.
She's like, oh, no, I did her face makeup last, so she could still drink water.
That's so good.
And eat.
Yeah, I would have thought of that. I would have done the face makeup first and be like, I hate you so much.
Makeup last.
6 hours, she's like, can we please take the pictures? I'm so thirsty.
I just want some water.
Knowing Danielle, she would be all sad. She's like, I can't cry. Eye makeup.
Yeah, no, face makeup was last.
No, and like I said, I didn't really have anything to do with the shoot, but I told Wayne this, who was the photographer. I was really proud of the team that he assembled. You know, everyone showed up.
Avengers of photo shoots, man.
Yeah, everyone showed up, everyone played, everyone worked hard. There wasn't anyone who was like, sore thumb. Everyone seemed to work really hard.
From what
on
I understand,
that shoot.
everybody worked together really well. I wish I could have been there, but I probably would have messed
Justin
it up.
wasn't planning on being there, but...
And then he shows up, and you're like, hey, can we, use you forever?
I was like, we were going to hang out, I'm like, oh, well, we're doing a photo shoot, you can hang out. He's like, okay. Yeah, we used his car and stuff.
Yeah,
he ended up driving people, and he was...
I put him to work.
Brandon put him to work.
Shooting behind-the-sines footage.
I was like, is that Justin's car in that photo? He goes, yeah. I was like, well, yeah, it does look like a breakdown, but the motor's surprisingly well.
Yep.
So
that was fun.
The shoot looked really good. I can't wait to see how Wayne assembles the photos.
I can't wait either.
I'm not a big fan of Photoshop comic books because there's a trend in it, and I always thought, well, why not just draw the comic book? I mean, but this is almost like
it's photos telling a story.
It's the closest thing to Thriller, in that it's a bridged medium.
Yes.
Thank you for putting that song in my head for the rest of the night.
For the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Well, we are talking zombies a little bit.
I told you, I dreamt about zombies on Tuesday night. Never had a zombie dream in my life, but I spent all weekend doing makeup.
You spent the equivalent of 9 to 12 hours doing makeup for zombies, and you surprised you had a zombie dream?
No, not really. But, yeah. But I was like, I win. The zombie was going to get me. I'm like, this is my dream. No.
I've had that dream.
The thing on fire, man. I've
had so many zombie dreams where they're about to bite me, and I'm like, And at one point I Superman and I just started punching through skulls.
I was like, heck no, you don't get me. This is my dream. I win.
Yeah. One dream I got bitten, I was like, nope, I'm immune. Never turned into a zombie either. I was like, yeah.
There's a famous zombie movie called it's in Japan. It's called Tokyo Zombie, and it's worth noting and worth watching for one reason, one reason only. It is in the film, the survivors use a modified form of jujitsu to combat the zombies. So it's like push the head away, avoid the hands, and it tells you basically it's this tutorial on how to deal with zombie hand-to-hand combat.
Oh, I need to rent that movie then.
It is more lighthearted than some of the other zombies out there.
I have a feeling if I try to actually pull like those moves off, I'd go to do the whole push
like
the
she
face away.
avoids the hands and she's like, "There's something I'm forgetting."
I know.
Mouth.
Oh! Like in a Army Hammer. Oh!
Oh!
And just fall over.
That was so funny. Or the Great White Horse is like, "You must be tired." In good brother. Oh.
Wrong brother.
Oh, why did you call me? It wasn't me. Wrong brother. That's the only thing in that movie that actually upset me. Because the actual definition is good scout. And I was like, no! He was the right brother!
Good scout. Well, I was glad they kept the bullet holes.
Mm-hmm.
That it's a throwaway line, but it's the one
The
piece
mask is made from the bullet holes of his brother's vest.
That's the one piece of the mythology I was glad they kept.
I want to say, I was pleasantly surprised with the movie. I wasn't sure I would
I was very worried about it because I'm a very big Lone Ranger fan. I'm very loyal.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the old serial. I've read a lot of comics that they've done. And
IDW's run on Lone Ranger is breathtaking.
I've only seen a couple, but it's wonderful.
Oh, I followed that for a long time.
The one that I wanted to see and I haven't got to see was The Death of Zorro because it's him and Zorro teaming up.
Yeah.
And I haven't got to see that, but I want to read that so bad. But the movie, I watched the movie going into it going, it's Johnny Depp, it's going to be pirates with cowboys. And I was like, it's kind of pirates with cowboys, but it's awesome.
It's not, and I wish they had stayed closer to the IDW comic book.
Because IDW stays close to the original serial from the radio and TV.
Well, that run is what got the movie made.
The run is what got the movie made. But the thing that I loved the most out of the whole thing was when he goes to save the day, they played the music.
Yes.
I got teary-eyed. Like, I was sitting there and it started playing, I was like, the Lone Ranger!
It's the whole movie. It's not the Lone Ranger until that.
Yeah, like the whole movie. I'm sitting there watching the movie, and I'm like, Lone Ranger wouldn't do that. Lone Ranger wouldn't do that. No. Yeah, okay, that's kind of cool, but he wouldn't do that. And all of a sudden it's like, the Lone Ranger, hi-ho Silver, and he does it, and he's some music playing. I'm like, it's the Lone Ranger! Hi-ho Silver, right? Yeah, let's do this. I'm crying, and Katie's like, Katie's sitting next to me, and she's like, go, get him. And I'm just like, da, 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 da.
I loved it. And we were, a year or so ago, we were in Vegas. And the Hollywood, the restaurant, the
Hollywood, Hard Rock, or Planet Hollywood.
Planet Hollywood, where they have all the movie memorabilia.
Yeah.
And I loved it because they had one of the Deadites from Army of Darkness.
No way.
So I was freaking about that. I was freaking about all this memorabilia. And then we go upstairs to see this juggling show. And on the wall in this glass cage is the original costume from the Lone Ranger, the bluish
the bluish gray shirt.
Not the bluish gray, the bright neon blue one from when they went in the colors.
The color one.
And I was just sitting there like, oh my god! I'm like, all of a sudden I'm this little boy again, and Million's like, what?
It's the Lone Ranger.
I don't get it, you know.
Did you never watch the Lone Ranger growing up? Have you never heard of it?
No, he acts like I don't.
No, I'm just asking. I'm not assuming, and I'm just making sure.
No, I knew who the Lone Ranger was.
But you didn't know the deal.
I hadn't seen any of the color stuff. I'd seen some of the black and white stuff.
I saw almost all the black and white stuff and some of the color stuff.
The black and white stuff's probably the better.
I grew up watching more Zorro than I did.
I was a massive Zorro fan. I loved Zorro.
I actually told this story to my mom recently, and she just looked at me like, what? I watched a lot of it when they did the reruns on what was it?
Disney,
yeah. That's why I started watching it.
They came on at midnight.
I'll never forget.
I stayed at midnight and I screamed Zorro.
I'll never forget this. The next day after the first episode I'd seen, I was thinking about how much I really loved the show. Right? I'd never seen it. I'd never heard of it until that night.
The show is awesome.
And I'm sitting there. And I remember. I don't know where my mom was. I don't know if she was upstairs or what was going on, but I was alone in the dining room. and I happen to have a crayon in my hand, and I'm sitting there go, and I start to do fake fighting, ha ha, and I kind of got carried away and did a Z on the wall. And the
she
moment
makes the mark of the Z.
the moment
you're grounded.
The moment I did, I went, oh! I covered my mouth and dropped the crayon. And I remember looking at it and seeing my mom was there. I went and got like a sponge. I'm like, no, she can't see this.
She's coming on the wall like, come on, I'm gonna get hit with a TV.
I'm like, Zoro's gonna give you trouble.
Yeah, I don't like that show anymore.
Oh.
Well, when they did the IDW comic though, Lone Ranger meets Zoro, I was like, my two favorite guys from the West. Yes, I got to see this comic, and then like, IA Comics never carried it.
No.
And I was like, no, I want to read this.
Well, right now, talking about two big characters crossing over, IDW and DC are doing it right now. The first issue's out. Spirit versus the Rocketeer.
No way.
Nice.
It's amazing.
This,
the first, it's written by Mark Waid. Oh, I know. I love
Who?
Favorite line in that movie.
That's
awesome.
ever.
Oh my gosh.
I love that.
Oh, and that movie is still.
It's so good.
It stands up. It really does.
It does.
Like, I know so many people are like,
Awesome.
I've met so many people that are like, The Rocketeer was an okay movie, and I'm like, you're an okay person.
No, because one thing that freaks me out about The Rocketeer as far as that film goes.
How doesn't he explode?
Well, no. Because it's a great movie, but the one thing that always threw me off is a Disney film.
Yeah, that threw me off too.
Disney bought the rights to the Pulp character.
Because he was a radio and a pulp character.
Radio?
Just
Actually,
like
no,
Jim-
The Rocketeer came later. The
I thought he
Rocketeer was actually created in the 70s based off of the Pulp Heroes.
Really? I
He's
thought
not
I
an
heard he had his
official-
own radio.
No, he
serial.
never. He was too late for the radio genre.
Really?
He
Well,
would have
then I
been.
gotta go edit a Wikipedia page.
No, he was created in the 70s, and he was
love it.
based. The comics were set in the 40s,
Yeah,
which is the confusion because it is the 40s.
that's
um,
true. He was set in the 30s and 40s, and he was, like you said, he was designed to be like all the other pulp heroes.
He fits right in with the Pulp Heroes.
He's got slight steampunkish, creation.
Yeah.
And he goes by just this enigmatic identity.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
In the comics,
Even the Spirit is a good crossover.
oh, I love the Spirit, but Mark Waid's the writer, and I
Could
don't.
you imagine just all that mist showing up out of nowhere while he's flying, and he just hears the shadow, and he's like, ah! Turns his head, rudder takes him to the ground.
Well,
Who said that? Ah!
well, the
I just like imagine the shadow knows what. Ah!
but the Spirit, one of my favorite characters, Will Eisner. I love that character so much. In fact, I felt when they did the film, Frank Miller missed the biggest opportunity and the most identifying thing of the character by making the suit a black suit with a red tie.
Yeah.
If you had set that entire world in black and white, and then had him in the blue, bright neon blue suit with the blue mask, it sets him apart in such a way that he is the most innocent character in his universe.
Exactly. I
That's
agree with that.
the whole thing of the Spirit is he is surrounded by some of the worst people in existence.
Oh, they're horrible people.
And he is the innocent, the most innocent
uses
man in that universe.
Yeah, he uses. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a scene where he uses his red tie to strangle the Rocketeer flight.
Well, no, they were. Well, I'll show you the issue, but they've only done one issue so far. And in the comics, over the IDW Rocketeer, they've come out and made Betty Page the Rocketeer's girlfriend.
I've heard of that. Yeah, and I think that's not a bad idea because you take a guy who he's kind of he's a country pilot. Honestly, all he loves to do is fly, and he becomes thrust into this suit. This system to where he has to be the hero with this rocket pack. The guy doesn't really have any special abilities besides the fact that he got a rocket pack.
Yeah.
And he can throw a punch.
You know, he's a tough guy.
But he's a tough guy. And then she's like, "Well, I'm Betty Page. How are you?" And he's like, "Hi."
Well, the Spirit Rocketeer crossover is there was a politician in Central City who was murdered and washes up in Hollywood land.
Oh.
So the Spirit is down there investigating
What happened?
and Betty Page is the one who found the body on a chute
Oh no.
in the beach.
See what happens when you're the Rocketeer's girlfriend?
Yeah, I know.
You find dead people.
But the last page of issue 1 is the Spirit meeting Betty Page for the first time.
Oh, no.
And being like, I need to talk to her as a witness.
Does he get smitten with her?
Well, he doesn't, because the Spirit's one big problem, and Will Eisner based this off of Solomon, is women are his weakness.
Ah.
And it is he really did base the Spirit.
He's got a soft heart towards women.
Off of Solomon and Delilah.
Yeah.
Or Samson, sorry. I'm getting my biblical references.
Solomon, women was his problem, but they weren't his weakness.
No, they weren't. Samson. So he's really heavily based in Samson as a character.
But that's always kind of made me feel bad for the Spirit in a way.
Yeah.
The fact that he's supposedly like this great crime fighter and everything, and he's brought down by women.
By women.
I say that, if you look throughout history and the great stories, 90% of the great heroes, woman.
Yes, but a good hunk of them are because they, are
they can't keep it in their
men
tunic.
and can't keep it in their, yeah.
Can't keep the loincloth on.
Whereas the Spirit...
He can, and that's the problem.
He can, and he does, but he still kind of...
He still gets punished.
Still gets punished for it, yeah.
He gets punished all the time just for the flirtation and stuff that he kind of can't control because of how he was brought back.
Yeah.
So, anyway, the last page is like Betty Page just grabbing the Spirit and kissing him right in front of the Rocketeer.
I would have ripped that ruddered helmet off. I don't care who found out who I was, and I'd beat him with it. My girlfriend was Betty Page. I would make sure that guy paid.
So, I mean, and it was...
Take this! Feel my ruddered fury!
So it was right after they had their first fight, too, and it was like the Marvel team-up thing.
Oh.
So they fought all throughout issue 1, and you get that fight scene you want.
How do they get to work together after that? Because the whole time they're flying around, he's holding onto the Spirit while they're flying around.
Sorry, I made that joke earlier.
Yeah,
he's
flying around with the Spirit, and he's like, the Spirit's like, hey, so we should go here and investigate clues. How about you fall?
Well, no,
that's for kissing my girl.
There's a great scene where the Spirit and the Rocketeer are fighting in the sky.
Oh,
and
man.
the Rocketeer says something about you're going to fall to your death or something like that. All I got to do is hit you, and you're going to fall to your death. And the Spirit is just beating the shit out of him. And he goes, you haven't tagged me once. Boom, boom, boom. And it was just so well done. I love Mark Waid. In fact, the cover, there was variant covers, but the title of the first issue was called Pulp Friction.
Nice!
It's so well done, so well written.
Nice.
But we got a couple other things we got to get onto. We weren't planning on talking about Spirit and the Rocketeer.
Bonnie, you like the Rocketeer, right?
Yes! I love the Rocketeer.
She's like, I want to talk about him, but I don't know what the Spirit is.
No, I know what the Spirit is. I saw the movie. I'll admit I haven't read any.
I've only read a little bit of the books, but I watched the movie. The movie wasn't...
They're harder. The books are hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, they are.
It's
all the ones I've read have been digital.
They're one of the longest running superheroes. The Spirit predates Superman.
Yep.
And created by Will Eisner, and Will Eisner is considered to be the godfather of the graphic novel. He actually created the term graphic novel, but he was one of the many who actually turned down Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, the creators of Superman.
He turned them down?
He turned them down. He said, it's a great idea, he goes, but the art's not there.
Sorry, who did?
Will Eisner.
Oh, okay.
Will Eisner actually ran his own studio. Before Marvel and DC were the front runners, it was like Timely.
Marvel was Timely.
Marvel became Timely became Marvel.
Yeah.
And then I forget what DC was. National.
They weren't Detective. I think they were National before they were.
Yeah,
Detective.
they were National something publications. And then they became Detective Comics based off of their first big title.
If I had
they became Detective, and then after a little bit they really ran with Detective Comics because they didn't announce the name too much until after they did Batman, because he became the world's greatest detective.
Yeah.
I think if I had turned down the creators of Superman, then
after Sherlock Holmes died.
If I had turned them down, I would have changed my name to Stupid Idiot.
Stupid Idiot. Yeah. But no, like there are over 100 people who turned down Will Eisner and Jerry Siegel.
They're all stupid idiots.
Yeah, you're not ready. The arts, there's one famous newspaper, because they originally took it, the newspaper guys. one famous editor actually told him the character's too unrelatable. And
Too
so
unrelatable?
Yeah.
Superman.
Because no one
Superman.
knows what it feels like to be an outcast.
I know.
Especially when reading comics.
I know, right?
Same.
So it was.
It's the greatest outcast story in the world.
Yeah.
He just happens to have superpowers.
It's the immigrant story.
He's Jesus with a cape.
So
That's actually become a very popular analogy in the last, I want to say 10 years.
Yeah.
Was equating Superman to Jesus.
Well, actually, it goes all the way back to Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, because they used like the fake Kryptonian language that exists in the book is real life Hebrew.
Yeah, see, wasn't he supposed to be a representation of Moses, though?
He was. They were Jewish, not Christian.
Oh yeah, they were heavily Jewish.
So it was actually more
Heavily Jewish?
Heavily Jewish. So
How
they
did he-
when they messed up on the page, they said "oi."
As opposed to Jewish light.
Yeah.
Jewish light gets to eat real bacon.
Yes,
Okay.
he's bacon.
Not turkey bacon?
Exactly.
But they Kal-El, his Kryptonian name, in Hebrew actually means all that is God. So
Yeah,
Superman,
because L in
El is the
is
the name of God
yeah.
in Hebrew. It is Superman has always been a allegory of God. Whether you're the Hebrew and you believe that it's the Jewish God, like they wrote it when they were doing the book, or later on when Burns took over in the 70s,
and they made it
more the Christian Jesus. Figure.
Well, if you think about it, he saves. And how's the old saying go? Jesus saves.
Yeah, Grant Morrison took it even further and made him more like in Superman for our All-Star Superman, made him more of the analogy of all myth of every god.
Yeah.
Because he threw in all these different myths from various sun gods and stuff. So, I mean, it all depends on the writer's interpretation, but there is this legitimate correlation between Superman and the allegory.
Yeah.
Of whether you're talking about Moses or Samson or, whatever. But, Will Eisner, I can do an entire 5 hours of just talking about him.
Yeah, we know.
He's my hero.
What's the S on your chest stand for? It is on my planet. It's a symbol for hope.
Hope, yeah.
Well, here
It's an S. Well, one thing, there's that saying, but it's a joke. And after she says, "Well, on this planet's an S." What should it stand for? And she starts to say Superman, and he goes, "No, I'm Hope Man."
Hope Man. That's awesome.
No, I'm Hope Man.
Doesn't it have the same ring of confidence that Superman has.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Hope Man!
Look up in the sky. Is it a bird? Is it a plane?
No,
it's
Hope
Hope Man.
Nah, it's just
What's he doing? Hoping he knows how to land.
Hoping he doesn't hit that. Oh, never mind.
It took 6 of you to save the city. Well, actually, it took 2 of us. The rest of us were trying to contain it to 1 square block and minimize the loss of human life. How many people died? Did you stop the alien invasion?
Yeah, there's a lot of
there's a lot of poking at that. Oh, it's bad.
Well, they're talking about Man of Steel. It was weird. There's a new story that crossed my desk today. But Bryan Cranston, who played the dad Malcolm in the Middle,
and from Breaking Bad,
he's mostly known from Breaking Bad,
which is sad because he was awesome in Malcolm in the Middle. He would but those were 2 very different characters.
Real quick. Whenever I think of Malcolm in the Middle, I think of that one where it was like he went on some reunion thing or something with the guys who played a band. He played the cowbell or something.
Oh yeah.
And so I just got the image of him.
Cowbell.
Like when he's up by himself, just hitting the cowbell.
Well, there's one. The thing I think about him the most when I think of him as Hal, the dad from Malcolm in the Middle, is the boys are in the room and the dad, and he runs in and slams the door and he goes, "Which one of you boys want to make $5?" And then they hear the mom go, "Oh my God!" The son's all, "Make it 10. You're a good son." I got him, honey. and like the moment I saw that, I laughed so hard. I was like, that poor kid. At the same time, I was like, that is a super out for me. I gotta have boys. Break a favorite dish. I got him, honey. You're a good son.
I'm just hearing Katie go, "Oh my God, Michael!"
I got
honey!
I got it, honey! He was making a break for the back door. Sorry, I gotta do this.
But there was a website that posted he's in talks to play Lex Luthor.
He would be an awesome Lex Luthor, especially if you watch the last 2 seasons of Breaking Bad. You could see how he'd make a good Lex.
Well,
Luthor.
here's the thing: it was all fake.
Really,
He's not in talks to play Luthor, but it blew
showed
up.
on Latino Review. Even.
Yeah, it blew up to where like real news sites were posting.
Wow, so that was all fake.
Is all fake. He's not in talks.
I am really disappointed now. He would be an awesome Lex Luthor.
No.
Who are they talking to be Lex Luthor then?
I don't know. I'm hoping Lex isn't in this new movie.
Well,
If
from everything I've been reading, because
maybe they'll see all that and say, "Hey, maybe we should have him be Lex Luthor."
Well, from one thing that I've been reading, that the true part of the story is
was a good Lex Luthor.
He was actually a very good Lex Luthor.
I think the writing, because that version of Luthor, was really still a holdover from the Christopher Reeves film.
Yeah.
Where he was trying to do the land deal and stuff. I think that hurt that performance because if he had been,
everybody was seeing Gene Hackman.
If he had been allowed to really do something,
I liked him.
If he could have explored that character on his own with his own script instead of having a rehash of Reeves,
no,
everybody would have been like, Gene who?
Yeah,
Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor.
Okay, wait. What movie is it? Is it Fred Claus or is it one of the
Fred Claus?
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, where he's the auditor,
Yeah.
and then he's got the Superman outfit.
Like, I love that.
That part was awesome.
It was awesome.
I love that movie just for that.
But the things that I've been reading, but the things I've been reading,
like I tear up when Santa Claus gives that speech about the Superman cave.
Yeah, but you know the thing that I've been reading, I'm reading this is the true part of the story, like just mixed the Bryan Cranston part, is that the Lex Luthor character, when he gets cast, he will be, and not in just the Batman Superman, he'll actually appear in several other movies as just appearances, not as a villain thing. Like you'll see like Lex Luthor, like Luthor Corp and Wayne Industries making a deal or something, and he'll make appearances in several movies. But the person that has been rumored to be talked about, besides Bryan Cranston, and I hope this one is real, to play Lex Luthor, Lawrence Fishburne. It could work. They made Lex Luthor black in the later Batman comics, and in the Superman comics, and in the later Superman TV series in the late 90s.
No, he wasn't black. Bruce Timm even came out and said, like, a lot of people thought Lex was black because they use a darker tone and they use these bigger lips, but it's not a black interpretation of Lex.
That's the thing.
Lawrence Fishburne would still do a great job.
Oh yeah, no matter what, he would still be a great Lex Luthor.
So many things. Othello. Wasn't he in Othello?
He was in Othello.
Yes.
He was on CSI.
He was on CSI for a while. Did you see that Akilah and the Bee movie? Oh, he's her.
Yeah, he's her teacher.
Coach in that one.
Her tutor.
Lawrence Fishburne. He's a Shakespearean actor.
Morpheus.
Oh yeah, Morpheus. Matrix.
I never watched Matrix.
Oh my gosh, maybe you're fired. No, never mind. I need you to edit too. I don't want to. Never mind. You're not really fired.
You never saw this one. I
thought that
you in this reality, and this one shows you how to keep the rabbit hole really
just after that part, got so bored out of my mind, I stopped watching.
He's the guy with the pills
in his hands.
I blocked that out of my mind.
He's the guy anyway.
Brandon, buy her a DVD. And force her to watch it.
And make it not The Matrix.
Buy her The Matrix.
Watch Othello or watch Akilah and the Bee. That's fine.
He was good in Othello.
I think I saw Othello, but I don't remember him. Sorry.
The guy that played Dar in Beastmaster, the original movie, he was in Taming of the Shrew, and I watched the videotaping of the play and as he's playing in Taming of the Shrew, I was the only one in my class that geeked out. I was like, it's the Beastmaster! And everybody goes, what? I was like, uncultured swine. As we watched Shakespeare. We're watching Shakespeare. And I'm like, it's the Beastmaster! And they're all, what? Uncultured swine. Let's get back to Shakespeare.
But no, I don't think Luthor... Like, if Luthor appeared in this film, I would hope it would be like that. There's a scene in... Swamp Thing, I think 53. There's a scene where this military guy says, look, I have an expert who can help us out, but he's asking $10 million for 10-minute consultancy.
Oh, jeez.
And it's like, but it's worth it. And so the government shells out $10 million for 10 minutes of Lex Luthor's time.
Oh, Lord.
And at the end of the meeting, Luthor lays everything out, and it only took him 9 minutes and something. And he goes, you didn't even give us our full 10 minutes. He goes, I thought I would leave you a half a minute to sign my check.
Ooh.
You know?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that is total Lex Luthor, though.
So I thought, like, if Luthor is in this next film, I want that scene.
Well, that's the thing, is that that's what they're saying, is that he would be very minor. That's why he would show up in several movies to build on this evil that he truly is. And then when they finally did the Justice League movie, he'd be one of the major bads and not like the only major bad. Yeah. So that would be pretty cool. It's like he's like, by the way, all those times I was screwing you over, like in my little tiny crap. Yeah, it's because I was building this super evil death gun.
Yeah, something like that. I love Luthor. I think he's a great villain, but I want to see
him played by a black guy.
No, I want to see a Superman film with Mxyzptlk as the villain.
That would be really good.
I want to see Mxyzptlk, depending on how you pronounce it. No one knows. Mxyzptlk. There's a big fight on how to pronounce his name.
Didn't someone stab someone else, or
no? There's
just fight.
Alex Ross and Paul Dini almost got into a physical fight over the pronunciation of this character's
Paul
name.
Dini would lose.
Paul Dini would. Ross is a big, bald dude, man.
He is mean.
Well, he's not mean. He's still a geek.
No, I just mean looking.
Yeah.
When I say mean, I mean looking.
Yeah, so...
That's Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay, I know him now.
He's our Black Luthor.
I would just like to go on the record that I've been waiting to talk about our number one subject, because it's one of the few things I can geek out about, and no one brings it up.
Fine. Okay, hang on.
All right.
Hang on. All right, 1 second. Okay. Now we've got past all that. So, Maylene.
Now what?
Tell me why me
What was that?
Have you been...
What was that? What is
that?
That's like a dream sequence. That wasn't Doctor Who.
Before we
No,
go
that's my segue noise.
Oh, okay, sure.
But have you seen Wayne's World?
I know, that's what I was thinking.
The
I was
Scooby-Doo moment.
Do it again. I gotta see. Do it again.
No. Here, hand it over.
Yeah, see, that's for me.
Okay, fine. Oh, what's this? Now it doesn't do
It
it.
likes me better than you.
Oh, what's that noise?
I'm gonna laugh if that doesn't come up on the
It's probably not.
the whole time.
Maylene, I was cruising around on the internet, and I came across a large amount of Doctor Who stuff.
No
and
kidding.
news. So, what do you say we talk about that a little bit? Totally not forced.
Okay,
Oh, well, you're gonna be a poophead about it.
Past this point, there'd be spoilers. I'm sorry for...
That's okay.
I know Mike is way behind on
I'm missing a season, but I don't care.
I've only seen a few episodes, so whatever. I've heard so much about Doctor Who before I even watched it.
At least she picked the right
Don't
episode
blink.
from the new
Don't
series
blink!
to make her favorite.
Yeah,
All I'm saying is Peter Capaldi.
Yeah, next Doctor, 12th Doctor, it's been named Peter
He
Capaldi.
died he was saved from from the
Fires
explosion in Pompeii.
Yeah.
In the episode Fires of Pompeii. How the Doctor saved himself, I don't know. Maybe he was hiding from the family of blood again.
Doesn't he? He has a good doctorish.
He does.
He does. I've seen him in a few other things.
I've never seen him. He just has a good look.
I've seen him in a few other things, and he's pretty good.
We don't know what costume he's going
I
to
was gonna
wear.
say, what is he gonna be wearing, and what's his?
You can totally spot
article clothing?
you can totally find bandwagon Whovians because they're just like. Because they're all screaming, "He's old! He's old!" And then I show him a picture of Hartnell, and I'm like,
Like, this was the first one.
"This is how he started out." And they're like, "Oh."
Like, Hartnell was like 54 when he took on the Doctor?
Yeah.
Or how?
And every sudden, like, he's old. He's older than Matt Smith. It's like, really?
Well, David Tennant and Matt Smith are,
they're
younger doctors.
Yeah.
They're in the vein of the 5th Doctor, who was Peter Davison was one of the younger actors.
Yeah, he was one of the youngest Doctors.
Because it had always been an older guy, and I kind of like the older Doctor.
Yeah, the older Doctors, the slightly more serious tone to him is great. But that's one reason why I really liked Matt Smith. Not Matt Smith. Blah. Matt Smith is okay. Why I like David Tennant, because he had a massively fun streak to him. He was funny, but at the same time, he was very serious like the older Doctor.
You had we just watched. We've been watching the Doctor Revisited, and they did Sylvester McCoy, and they played remembrance of the Doctor.
Ooh.
And he has this line where he literally mocks Davros. And it's beautifully delivered.
He mocked him?
Yeah, he mocked, like, Davros was giving this great long speech about, like, how he was going to, take over the world, destroy it, and
That
everything.
Hitler-esque
Yeah,
speech.
And Sylvester McCoy was like, you'll do this, you'll do, like,
He starts doing it in the Dalek monotone.
like, doing it, and, like, he starts by repeating everything he says. You'll do this, you'll do that, and then what was it, like, the last one?
It was like, and he
You'll
goes,
have all the cheese.
no, you'll have free rice pudding
Yeah.
for everyone.
Yeah.
In the Dalek
It's
tone.
like he says all these serious things, and then he goes, free rice pudding for everyone, and,
And he's just...
Hey, that's one thing I liked about Sylvester McCoy. He was an older Doctor, but at the same time, he made fun of people.
Yeah, and it's great because his one of his companions was Ace, and she was one of those typical 80s kids.
Yeah.
80s rebellion, yeah.
And she always had what was it? Some kind of explosive.
Nitro 9, because he didn't
Nitro
want to
9.
actually say like TNT or
Yeah.
something in her backpack.
She always always had it on her, and he'd always tell her, "Okay, don't bring that with you this time. Like, seriously, tell her specifically." And then half an hour later, he'd be like, "You know that those explosives you're not carrying? Yeah, I'm not carrying them. They're back on the TARDIS. Well, this will be a good time to bring them out." Okay, and she'll reach into her backpack and pull out the explosives.
Like he used this Nitro 9 time release grenade on a Dalek. I mean,
oh wow,
it was a pretty intense episode. And there's one episode I've been wanting to see of his for a while, but we couldn't get it. And it's because the Master and him have a confrontation where the Master dies.
oh wow.
And it's what actually sets up kind of the movie. Because in the movie...
The Master comes back and regenerates in Eric.
Well, yeah, the Master comes back, but he starts off as ashes.
Ashes?
Yeah, like I
knew the Master died with Sylvester McCoy, but ashes?
No, what it is in that film is he is taking... The Time Lords have given the Doctor the Master's ashes to go take and do this one thing with.
Yeah.
To dump the ashes. And it was in the Master's will that his ashes be spread in this place by the Doctor.
Ooh.
And the thing is, the Master set up this release thing that gave him one last chance while he was in the Doctor's TARDIS.
Oh Lord.
So he set up this container, and it just spins the TARDIS off, and the Master comes back as this telekinetic kind of creature until it can get to a body.
Ah.
And so it's just even in death, the Master found a way to come back.
Yeah.
And it was
which that just tells you he truly wanted to die, in the year that wasn't.
Oh yeah.
With David Tennant, he's like, because he looks at me, he's like, it's just a bullet wound, you can come back, and now it just makes so much sense. He's like, because you came back from ash.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's just a bullet wound, you can regenerate from that, and he's like, I choose not to.
I'd
rather die than spend eternity with you.
Yeah, so the Master is a villain who has conquered death.
Oh yeah.
And
so it just makes his death more epic with David Tennant.
Yeah. Someone pointed something out about the Doctor, and I didn't know this because I thought it was biological.
Is it that he likes Jammy Dodgers?
He likes Jammy Dodgers. But no, the cap on the 11 or the 13 regenerations.
Okay.
That was a Time Lord imposed notion.
Yeah.
Without his society, without the other Time Lords running around,
he can't have.
Supposedly, he can just keep regenerating.
Well, they say. Well, there's also another belief that from the books in the expanded universe that they've done through the books and movies is that the Time Lords were capped at 13, but when the Time War broke out and the Time Lord Council started to become more and more obsessed with winning, they had the gauntlet that their leader uses. Actually has the ability to instill more regenerations into Time Lords and bring Time Lords back. He supposedly brought back all Time Lords that had died.
Well, he brought back the Master because they needed a weapon in the Time War.
Yeah.
Because he dies at the end of that movie.
Yeah, he dies, but they
again.
But they say that the Gauntlet, he actually doesn't just bring back the Master. He brought back almost every Time Lord with new sets of regenerations.
I think that the Master is just like every comic book death ever. He keeps coming back. He never stays dead for long, right?
Well, in the fourth Doctor...
He was created by Marvel. Nobody stays dead in Marvel, unless your name is Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Aww.
That's more story-driven than anything.
But there's... because when we first meet the Master, he's near the end of his set of regenerations, and what he wanted
because he's older than the Doctor.
He's older than the Doctor, and his game plan was to steal some of the Doctor's regenerations.
Yeah.
And at one point, he was on his last generation, and he was hideously mutated. He was scarred. For a while. The Master was almost this like half skull puppet thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad that didn't last too long because I love the actors who got to play the Master and really play
they always look so
a villain. You know, with
they
that
were
goatee.
truly villainous.
I would say that's my favorite one though. I always forget the actor's name, but the one with the goatee and the cape. That
the
was
first Master. Yeah.
I always forget like the name of the actor who plays him, but I love that. That's awesome.
I love Rowan Atkinson's Doctor though. When he makes fun of the Doctor, him and his Master, those are just so funny. Especially their "I'm going to go back in time before you" argument.
That's
in the
just
temple.
like out of Bill and Ted.
Yeah, that is what. Oh yes, well I'm going to get out of this, and I'm going to take the architect out to dinner, and he's going to make this. And I'm going to and he's going to make this. Well, he's going to
Have
make
I
this.
never seen this?
It's like a
comedy sketch.
it's like a 30-minute parody.
You've seen it and you never showed it to me?
It's hilarious.
Oh.
And
You
they
are
actually
so
get-
in trouble.
So much
Well,
trouble
there's
right
one-
now.
Well, there's one after that, and they're on the Dalek ship, and the Master's
I
like,
know what we're watching later.
he goes, he's all, yes, well, I've partnered with the Daleks, and they've improved me. And he takes off his glove, and he's got the suction cup. And, like, they gave you a plunger? He's like, no, it's a Dalek suction cup. And then later on, and then a little bit later, he's like, they've upgraded me again. They've given me Dalek nodes. And, like, they gave you boobs, and they're the bumps. But they're like, they gave you boobs. And then they're like, no, Dalek. And then
Okay, don't tell me all of it.
Yeah,
Well,
don't tell her all of it.
Different
Talk
thing.
more.
No.
more-
There's going to be
No.
regenerations, and you're going to laugh. That's all I'm going to say. Because each one after another, you're just like, holy crap.
Because it is a
You are so in trouble for not showing this to me.
I didn't like it, tell you the truth.
You didn't like it?
She can't watch it.
I thought it
know.
was making fun of the Doctor. I was just like, no, this
It
is...
does make fun of the Doctor,
It
and
does.
it's funny.
So I
I
didn't...
laughed really hard.
I know it's Ro Atkinson, but I didn't care for it, tell you the truth.
I loved it. It was awesome.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, man. Especially the last
That's what we're watching later, like last time.
So
The
apparently
last
if
year
we
Brandon,
generation
talked
is
about Warm
wicked.
Bodies and we had to watch it afterwards.
Yeah.
if Brandon doesn't like it, I'm going to see it.
Brandon, let her watch it. Let her
Well,
like
we'll
it.
put it on later.
Did you am I Warm Bodies?
Yes. They did to zombies what Twilight did to vampires.
Oh, but they
Well,
did.
it
It
wasn't
was
that
better.
bad.
It was better.
It wasn't that bad.
No, I ain't watching it.
It was hilarious.
I will say
it was freaking hilarious.
I'd watch Warm Bodies over Twilight any day.
Any day.
I think I watch a lot of things over Twilight.
Um,
I watch a lot of things over Twilight.
I'd
I
watch
watch a
Twilight
guy
with
have
Emma.
graphic knee surgery over Twilight.
okay, talking about the 50th anniversary. This is something that is in the trailer that I just realized. Rose in the 50th trailer.
Billy Piper said she's
Piper.
back.
She's back. She's in the trailer.
Yeah.
She mentions the moment. She says the moment is coming. I thought it was just a moment. Like,
Wait.
oh,
You know what? I'm worried now because you said Rose is back, and I just had this thought. It just hit me right away. Please don't tell me David Tennant coming back as the Meta Doctor. Please no.
The Meta Doctor?
the human.
The human Doctor.
That's possible.
He's
That's
been
possible.
called. He's been called the Meta Doctor. No, it's got to be the Doctor, not.
I
have
know.
one heart. I age, Doctor.
No, he's got to be the 10th Doctor.
It's got to be actually him.
Like-
I don't care if you have to be like, oh no, the shields were down and we crashed.
But,
Something as lame as that.
well,
It's
no,
got to be him.
in the trailer, there's the two
Donald
TARDISes.
Noble.
There's the two TARDISes with David Tennant leaning against one and Matt Smith leaning against the
Oh,
other.
Just
okay.
curious, what is the plural of TARDIS? Is it
TARDIS,
Tardai?
TARDI,
Tardai.
TARDI,
It just sounds mean. Tardai.
TARDI.
We got two Tardai here.
I got a third eye.
But there's that scene where Billy Piper says,
It sounds like you just have too much.
"Yeah,
Yeah.
TARDISes."
Got
Yeah.
too much gap in your mouth.
But she says the moment is coming,
Right.
and I thought it's like a moment
Referencing
in
his
time.
his-
Like just any old moment, like
Moment
ooh,
time.
an important moment is coming.
or
But
the
it
moment
dawned
of his
on me
regeneration.
in David Tennant, they in the when they flash back to the Time War
Yeah.
in the End of Times, they talk about the moment as a weapon.
Yeah.
It is the weapon the Doctor uses
Used to end the time.
to
war.
end the Time
and
War.
it burned all the Daleks and Gallifrey.
Yeah,
So is it possibly like something to do with 8.5?
yeah, it has to do with the end of the Time War.
Yeah.
The moment is that weapon.
Well, didn't they say the 8th was going to show?
Yeah, well, John Hurt is in it. I don't know. Well,
He's 8.5.
8.5. I want to see
So
Paul
they're saying
again.
that. So they're saying that he'll be the old Palm again.
That's what I think they're saying. They're saying he's an older Paul McGann, which I have problems with because bring back Paul McGann. He's sexy. You know, bring him back.
Cool-looking doctor. I'll give you that. But sexy, okay.
Have you seen him in Lucar?
Yes, I have.
You got some competition.
It's Paul McGann. Okay.
The Three Musketeers.
That guy?
My brothers will avenge me. Already? That guy.
That was him.
That guy?
Yeah.
That was him. He was really young.
I did not recognize him.
That's probably the only thing I've ever seen that guy in.
He was very young. He was very young.
Oh,
and
great.
then he did.
Now,
he did the
anytime
Doctor
I
Who thing.
see him now in Doctor Who or...
Anytime she shows me any of those episodes for the first time, because I haven't seen
I'm
it.
like,
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Brandon.
Do you play golf?
When I was 12.
Well, we at Destiny Comics guarantee you that our comic books will not help you with your golf game.
Oh, wow, that's a good deal.
That's right. We guarantee you to actually provide real entertainment instead of a good walk wasted.
Really? That's wonderful.
Paul McGann's only in one
How
of
many
them.
One
show-
is a movie.
I know, the whole movie. I'll just shout that anytime like the Doctor does something heroic.
Well, like I want to see. I wanted them to bring back the actors, but you haven't seen The Name of the Doctor.
No, but I know about John Hurt.
Well, what they did in The Name of the Doctor, there's a scene where you see all the older versions of the Doctor.
They're aged?
No, they're not aged. I mean,
that's what you meant.
no, they took film from the old series
Yeah.
and digitally pulled out the old Doctor and put them in the new TARDIS.
Ooh.
So, like, you see,
Okay, I need to watch Name of the Doctor.
you see the new episode, the new design of the TARDIS, and you see the sixth Doctor walk through the hallways.
Mhm.
You see all these older
At one
incarnations
point,
of the
you
Doctor
see the second Doctor just run by.
run
you
by.
know.
There's a full-fledged scene with Will Hartnell talking to Clara, the new companion.
I need to watch that
You
episode.
need to watch that episode, totally.
I don't care about any kind of spoilers that come from that. I'm watching that episode.
So they have this amazing they took all this old footage and they just figured out, okay, we know from this dialogue the Doctor is going to say this, so we write what she says, and it's almost like an older...
Kind of like Blink, you know.
Kind of like Blink.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
They
Kinda
totally...
Like, look to your left. You know, we've had arguments about what that
I
meant.
Yeah.
This is great. Now, what do you mean by this?
So, I mean...
Put your left. Yeah, we've had arguments about that.
So there's this amazing
Sally
scene
Sparrow.
with Sally and Will Hartnell,
Me, Claire.
or Clara, with Clara and
I
Will.
got him.
Yeah, there's this whole scene with Clara and Will Hartnell and all these older doctors, and you see the second Doctor running in the fur coat from the Yetis through like L.A. You know, and all this like stuff, and it's just like, oh my god, it's amazing. And you know, that's what they're doing for the 50th anniversary. They're reusing all the old footage of the older Doctor.
And you know what I'm looking forward to?
Seeing Matt Smith dangle from the bottom of his TARDIS.
That too. But actually, I want to see that documentary they're making about the beginning of Doctor Who. Because I don't know if you heard about this, but they're making, what was it, made-for-TV film or something like that?
Made-for-TV film called Through Time and Space.
Yeah, and it's all about, like, the creating of the Doctor Who. And
Well, I heard the show almost didn't get made.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's going to be, like, the whole story about that. And the guy, do you remember, I don't know if you saw it, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
Well, I don't think he's seen
I've
it.
seen half of it.
Well, the main villain in that episode, he is set to play Will Hartnell.
Really?
Yeah, he's going to portray Will Hartnell as the first Doctor.
Nice.
So
I will see that. I will watch that movie. That looks good.
I'm really
Sounds
excited about this.
Well, you know, yeah, because I was reading this thing. I was watching a show on YouTube, and it said this day in alternate history, and it said November 23rd, 1963. Due to, I forget the whole story, but it says a show called Doctor Who is canceled before made. It's canceled before it's made due to actor difficulties.
What is this?
It's alternate at this day in alternate history.
Oh, really?
And it's like the stuff that almost didn't happen or stuff like that. It shows like in the alternate history it never happened.
Wow.
Like, so something happens with the actor, and Doctor Who premieres late, only gets 3 episodes out, and it's canceled.
Oh, that would be very depressing. I
Uh,
mean,
It was Firefly of the 60s.
I know, seriously,
Uh-huh.
right?
Well, Firefly at least was made
I know.
I know.
kind
for
of.
a season.
Kind of. partly.
Oh, there's a guy, I saw this video of a guy who's ranting. He's talking about all these shows that were great, but they never lasted. And he's like, but I got over them. And he goes, and then there was Firefly.
Right?
And he goes on this massive rant.
Right?
You find out
my
that
gosh.
and everything he says is true, because you find out that Joss Whedon had 7 seasons worth of storyline in a binder that he was going to use. We were going to find out the Blue Sun Corporation's involvement in River.
Nice.
And they were actually going to show Shepherd Book's history and
Nice.
all this other stuff, and nothing. And the guy's like, you could never give a guy who always came in under budget on award-winning shows more than 1 season. You just couldn't. Why? All because the pilot episode happened out of sync. No, that's not great. And his friend stopped and goes, "But you'll get over it, right?" No! I will not get over it!
No.
We've been going back and watching Firefly recently because it's now on Netflix.
I love that show.
And it's in order.
It's in order. Not only is it in order, there's a documentary
I have that on my queue. I'm supposed to
called "We Are Mighty,"
Yeah.
and a friend of ours is in the documentary.
Really?
Yeah.
And I didn't know he was in it until I watched it. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like,
I have that on my queue for Netflix.
It's really good.
I will say, I am really mad that Firefly didn't get continued, partly because I wanted to see some of the characters come back for more episodes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, it's just.
One of my favorite.
Plus, who didn't love Badger? He was the most lovable bad guy.
Right?
I know. At one point, you're like, "You're a dirty scumbag." The other part's like, "But your accent's cool."
Yeah.
One of my
lovable
favorite
scoundrel.
characters that was in the show a few times was Saffron.
Oh,
Oh my
She
gosh.
is my favorite.
Yolanda,
Oh yeah.
She is so good at being bad.
Yeah.
Christina
Oh, my
Hendricks.
gosh. Yeah,
Oh.
that's her.
She's hot too.
Yeah.
The actress, her name is Christina Hendricks. She's hot, but at the same time, she just plays this character where it's like, you're sexy, but you're so evil.
I love in
Lie to me more.
She is going to the special hell.
I know.
It's sort of like you look at her and you're like,
Special.
lie to me more, just so you'll stay
I
around.
love in her first episode where Mal, he's just like
Trying to stay away
I-
from her.
Yeah.
I love how he's like talking to Inara at the
I
end.
knew you
It's like,
let her kiss
I
you.
knew you let her kiss you. It's like
Yeah, we'll go with that. Sure.
Yeah, she looks at him like, yeah, we'll go there. And she's like, she got me.
she
Yeah.
totally got
She
me.
got me.
You're a graceful woman. You know?
I like when she's like lying there and also lying there. She's like, wow, you're good. She's like, thank you. You're not bad yourself.
I know, right?
You know,
And they're talking about lying.
it's a great series, and I'll let you say because you were the one who brought it up.
I actually read an article online trying to keep up with my geek news. I read it today, and I actually read it yesterday to recap. Dark Horse Comics, they've actually been in talks. It's almost been 100% confirmed because they're keeping it very quiet right now, that they're going to be doing a monthly serial for Firefly.
That is
And
fantastic.
they did it because they said, like you said, the Shepherd Books history comics, those were some of their best-selling comics ever.
And that says a lot for Dark Horse because Dark Horse, creator of The Mask, Time Cop, they have the Star Wars comics.
Yep.
The
And
Firefly
Shepherd
short, it outsells Star Wars. That says
It's
something.
Shepherd Book.
The Shepherd
Yeah.
Shepherd Books
It's what
history
everybody wanted
outsold.
to know.
Well, yeah, because plus it plays in reverse. It goes from when he
does.
dies all the way to whenever he
It goes
first...
backwards. It's the craziest thing. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
And I haven't
Awesome.
read it, but I have a friend of mine who read it, and he goes, at the end of this book, you're in no way going to feel bad for him. You're going to hate him. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah, you're going to hate him.
Awesome.
So I've been wanting to
Awesome.
read it, and now that I know that you have it,
I have it. I've had
First
it for
dibs.
months.
hush.
I've had it
But
for months.
I love
Yeah, I
in the
know.
movie.
I'll probably see her first though.
Yeah, I love in the movie
My
when
daddy bought it.
Mel says, one day you're going to have to tell me, and he goes, no, I don't.
And so he says, one day me and you're going to have a conversation, we're going to have a talk about how you know all this. And he's like, no, we're not.
No, we're not.
No, he says, I haven't always been a shepherd now. He says, yeah, one day me and you're going to have a talk about that. He goes, no, we're not.
What's that book you were saying about killing people?
No, Shepherd, don't the Bible
Oh, yeah.
have some mighty strong words about killing people? Yes, but it's kind of fuzzy on the subject of kneecaps.
Yeah.
And I love that part.
I love when River sees him without his hair.
No, yeah.
The skull came in.
His hair's all big.
It's like, it's gone now, it's okay, it's still there.
He's like, it's put away. She's like, it's still there.
Okay,
No power in the words can stop me. Another great line of
But
Yes.
to wrap up the Firefly thing, Dark Horse, they haven't announced much, but it's almost been 100% confirmed that they're doing a monthly serial for Firefly now to continue the story, not just do a spinoff, but they're actually going to try and continue Joss Whedon's plan for the stories.
Awesome.
And we should see confirmation and release dates within the next month to 2 months.
well, that's interesting because that's what they did with Buffy and Angel. They continued right where the series ended. They picked up with the comics.
Yeah, Angel's still going strong.
Angel has his own title now called Angel. What's the other character?
Angel and Spike?
Not Spike.
Faith.
Faith. Angel and Faith have their own
they're
like
together.
buddy team up book.
Yeah. Well, he almost went to IDW. And if he went to IDW, he was going to get a crossover with True Blood.
That was supposed to happen.
But that was IDW's incentive to try and get the writers to take Angel to IDW, but they ended up staying with Dark Horse.
Yeah.
Because they gave him the Faith Buddy.
Yeah.
The buddy comic.
I haven't read any of it, but the covers are amazing.
I haven't read any of it either, but the covers are amazing. I have a couple old Angel comics and a couple old Buffy comics, and they were good. Like the Buffy comics, none of them had an art cover. They were all pictures of Sarah Michelle Gellar. And then you read it and it's like, well, okay, it's actually a comic.
Yeah.
They weren't bad.
All right, we're kind of running short on time here, but we got real quick. We got to go over or get to this. Ben Affleck as Batman.
We got to see who this is bugging. They have announced Ben Affleck is going to be Batman in the new Man of Steel movie, which apparently a lot of people are hoping it's going to be called World's Finest.
World's Finest. I think that's just a comic book thing because no one outside the comic book community is going
to give this
know
to the comic fans. They
World
need to
Finest
give it to them.
means Batman, Superman.
Okay, so since I probably have the least knowledge on comic books, I'm just going to put my 2 cents in here and then let you guys go at it, okay?
Let me load my gun.
I think that Ben Affleck is going to do a pretty decent job as Batman. And I think partly because, A, he's kind of an underrated actor to some people.
Good hunting.
And B,
That was his first thing. Come on.
he actually...
Dogma.
Honestly, I think since he is a fan of the material, I think he's gonna do his best not to screw it up.
I hope.
He's a nerd. He built in his old home. He built a bookshelf that slid apart when he pushed the button.
And he offered to take it out when Kevin Smith moved into the house, and Kevin Smith almost punched him in the face.
Yeah.
I think if you love
That's
something,
awesome.
and I think if you respect the material enough, then you're going to do your best to give your best.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll give it all. I mean, Andrew Garfield was an amazing Spider-Man. He was in Amazing Spider-Man, and he was amazing as Spider-Man. And that's wonder why? He was a Spider-Man fan.
I think the best.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He wanted Spider-Man to be gay. How is that a fan?
No, Andrew Garfield is a diehard Spider-Man fan.
Bullshit.
He is. He thought that it would be, as an actor standpoint, he thought it would be an interesting plot twist, because he says they always twist plot. They always change everything in the movies. But he is a diehard Spider-Man fan.
How can you be respectful of a character that's been around for 50 years when you want to change the character's sexuality? Especially a character who's basically Archie in tights.
Because he's an actor, and actors do spins and stuff. You can also have different thoughts. You can also have different thoughts on a character, even being a diehard fan. He is. The dude cried the first time he was in the Spider-Man costume.
I'll give it to him, probably because it was too tight. But
Well, and here's the thing: did he say something just like throwing it out there?
No,
or was it like this big?
He came out and he said, "I want Mary Jane to be a man in the next Spider-Man film," and it threw everyone for a loop. When everyone went into damage control, and Stan Lee was confronted about it without even knowing the comment had been made. Like, Stan Lee came out.
This is the thing. Somebody says one thing and everybody goes.
No, I've read the article. He wanted to play with Spider-Man's sexuality.
He thought that making Spider-Man gay would be an interesting plot twist, and he actually did really think it'd go, but he's also going off the thought of what they did with the Ultimate Spider-Man whenever they killed Peter Parker in that comic.
I'm fine with gay characters in comics.
Oh, I am too.
I think it should be built
that's where he
into
was
the
coming
character.
from. Was he thought that it would be an interesting twist. Now, the fact that they didn't do it, I don't think broke his heart because, like I said, he is a very big Spider-Man fan.
Well, Stan Lee, when they asked him about it, because originally it wasn't gay, he wanted the Spider-Man to be bisexual.
Yeah.
So you still have the love triangle between Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane, just Mary Jane's a dude.
Except it's not Mary Jane, it's Martin and John.
Martin John, or whatever.
MJ, whatever.
So,
Hey, MJ. Hey, Peter.
Oh, God.
Oh,
That's going to be my head now.
No. What were we talking about again?
Not a gay Spider-Man.
Ben Affleck.
But getting back to the topic.
but Stan Lee talking about Spider-Man being bisexual, he literally said, "I think one sex is enough for anybody."
Yeah.
You know,
I agree with that, though.
So, but
Honestly, I've heard, not to get completely off topic, but I know, right? I had a few, not a few, but I had one friend who was a lesbian. I haven't seen her in a while, but she got mad.
She like a girl?
Well, she got mad because she was very anti-bisexual, because she's like, pick one! It's selfish to want both! And I haven't seen her in years, but
so it's not Jessica.
no, not Jessica. No.
But back to the Batman thing. For Ben Affleck, I'm
I
willing to give.
I did have more lesbian friends than Jessica.
But you know, Ben Affleck is Batman.
His
age is about right for what they want because they want to get 9 movies out of this Batman.
Yeah.
Which
is smart because guess what? They did 21 Bond films.
Yeah.
The one problem that bothered me is with Bond, they were able to switch actors and directors.
Yeah.
Joe Schumacher was the first guy who was in that position, and he dropped the ball.
Yeah.
He killed the franchise. If he had been successful, we might have had 21 Batman films by now.
Yeah.
They follow the same formula as Bond. There's no reason why it wouldn't be as successful.
I think I'm willing to give Ben Affleck...
Batman.
Okay.
Movie or comic?
Favorite Batman actor.
Oh, actor. Okay. Sorry.
I got a tie.
Gotta pick one.
You can't ask me to do that.
Oh, I just did.
Well, anyway, you first then, Bonnie, since you asked.
No, I asked. I get to say
Okay,
asked.
Brandon.
I'm probably gonna get some shit for this, but Adam West.
I knew you were gonna say that. Pow! Bam!
Batman. Adam West was the Batman.
Adam West was a good Batman.
I like that.
I love that show.
The finger thing when he danced, you know.
I love that
It's
show.
a good adaptation of the Bill Finger stuff. I say it's the closest adaptation
Minus the
to
guns.
a comic book version.
Minus the guns.
Bill Finger didn't have the guns at that time. You're thinking Bob Kane.
Yeah.
When Bob Kane first came in, he was dark. He had guns on the utility belt.
All right. What's yours, Michael?
No, I want Maylene.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton?
Okay, he was a great Batman. He was
a great Batman.
He was like 5'7", so they put him on a box to make him 6'1". That was the cool thing about those movies. It's like, because after I found that out, every time I watch those movies, I'm like, box.
He was
camera
so
angle.
awesome, though. He was so awesome.
He was very good.
He did such a
I
great
totally
job.
saw Beetlejuice though when he's like, let's get a little nuts, and I'm like, Beetlejuice. When he says that to the Joker and he's got the silver plate.
Yeah.
Let's get a little nuts.
Me too, but only because Beetlejuice was the first thing I'd ever seen him in.
Same here.
Yeah,
so
that's
it was like when I finally got to see him in Batman, I'm like,
Beetlejuice?
I'm sorry, I'm seeing you in stripes.
See, I saw Beetlejuice first, then I saw Batman, and then I was like, okay, he's doing good. Let's get a little nuts. Beetlejuice. And I was like, Beetlejuice is a superhero. No, Beetlejuice.
Some of yours.
I don't care what Bonnie says, I have a tie. I'm actually going for the newest Batman, Christian Bale, because I think his...
Cancer Throat Batman?
Cancer Throat Batman. Throat Cancer Batman. I thought he was good because...
I call him Asthma Batman.
I liked him a lot because he actually brought a lot of the humanity to Bruce Wayne that is hidden away under the guise of I'm a playboy millionaire who doesn't care. But that's his shtick. But he doesn't throw that on. He's a reclusive millionaire that tried to fake a playboy millionaire statue. But you saw the pain and hurt that was actually in Bruce Wayne that was always hidden. But it was always showed through Batman. But you actually got to see it without the mask. And I just thought it was great. Yes, he had throat cancer. And yes, he quit for 8 years because his girlfriend died.
Name. Okay, go ahead.
What's your second
one?
That'd be more writing than...
The immortal Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy
Voice actor counts.
Yeah.
Yes, I was going to say, I have to say...
Kevin Conroy. Every single Batman comic I read, Kevin Conroy's voice.
Kevin Conroy's voice.
Absolutely.
Every Batman cartoon that doesn't have
Absolutely.
Kevin Conroy's voice,
Is
I
not
take
a good
it down a
Batman
whole
cartoon.
level.
I'll take it to
It
the
It's not
level.
good enough.
And everybody else is like, it's a 10 out of 10. I'm like, 9 out of 10. Why?
No, I
no
agree.
Kevin Conroy.
I agree with you right there. On
Have
that
you
one.
seen
For
the
sure.
Flashpoint?
I want to watch that so freaking bad.
Oh, it's so good. Kevin Conroy does the Batman bookends,
Yeah?
but when they go to the alternate universe and it's Thomas Wayne, they got
Yeah.
someone else to do it.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. But I want to watch it because I only read a little bit of the Flashpoint stuff, and I know that Flashpoint Batman snaps the Flash's fingers questioning him.
Oh, he's mean.
That's one reason why I want to watch it so bad, just so I can hear that. Why do you keep saying that name?
Well, the whole thing with Flashpoint is something happened in the time stream, and the universe got all jacked up. And when he goes to Flash is the only one who remembers the old time, and he goes to Batman to be like, "What the hell's going on?"
He says, "Bruce, what's going on?" And like Batman beats the crap out of him.
And you find out it's not Bruce Wayne;
It's his
Thomas
dad.
Wayne.
It's his dad, Thomas Wayne.
Bruce Wayne died in the alley
He
as a
jumped
kid.
in front of the bullets as a kid and saved his mom and dad.
Oh my god.
And so now his dad became Batman. But he has guns.
He's got guns.
He's way more brutal.
He's a psychotic.
I
He's
gotta say,
almost
I
like
did-
a
his kid
Unabomber.
died.
I did enjoy that.
And his mother, spoilers, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it's your fault from now on, Martha Wayne is the Joker.
The mom
Holy
becomes,
freaking cow! What?
the mom
Like,
becomes the
freaked out.
Joker.
Like, in the comics, because they did like, what, a 3-issue run?
They did a 3-issue.
For the Flashpoint universe, you see Thomas Wayne standing there freaking out. He's like, my boy, and he's crying. And also, you see Martha Wayne, she's got her hands on him and she's crying. And then she puts her hand to her face, and then her crying turns into maniacal laughter, and she pulls her hand away, and Bruce's blood has made the Joker's lipstick.
Made the Joker's mouth.
She became the Joker.
She snapped psychotically.
You have no idea
Oh
when
my
you went
gosh.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I almost went Joker. I'm like, oh wait, he wants to say it. So
They
we'll say anything.
in the movie they show that one scene, but they don't go into it because that whole
Yeah.
universe existed for 3 or 4 months in the DCU.
Yeah. And it wasn't an alternate universe. It was the main universe that was distorted.
It was
It was DC Prime.
It was really well done. My favorite in that 52 or that universe was Booster Gold, but
What was Booster Gold?
he
What happened
was
to
since
him?
he's a time traveler. It didn't affect him. He still had memories of the previous universe.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, "What the heck's going on?" He's trying to figure it out too, but he's always like a step behind the Flash. But Booster
Well,
Gold's not even in the
everybody's
movie.
Everyone's a
isn't
step
there.
behind the Flash.
But
They're Metamorpho and Booster Gold isn't in the movie.
but check this out. In the Flashpoint comic for Batman that they did, there's actually a scene where it's the Joker and Batman holding hands over the outline of a boy's body with roses on it. And the Martha Wayne Joker, okay, she's got the green hair and the pale skin, but her green hair is long and flowing, and she wears a white-tailed tuxedo with a white rose.
Yeah.
I was like, that needs to become a forever running comic.
It was so good.
Crazy.
It would be wicked cool.
It
Like
was-
the Penguin is like Mr. Freeze. And it's like wah wah wah, freeze you.
Well, the Penguin actually worked with Bruce Wayne or Thomas Wayne, because what happened was Bruce Wayne had his entire life to become the ninja.
Yeah.
Thomas Wayne didn't. He was
He
a
only had a
doctor.
few years.
So what he did was he used his pull in political Gotham to get gambling legalized, and he built casinos in Gotham.
Yeah, so when the Flash is running through Gotham, he's seeing Wayne casinos everywhere.
Wayne casinos. Weird. And so what happened was, like, the criminals would come to the casinos, and he could spy on the criminals in his casinos and get information that way. Penguin was a casino manager for Thomas Wayne.
He flipped him.
And it was
not really, but
DC released limited edition for that universe Wayne casino coins.
They did? I didn't know about that.
I have 3 of them. They released
Do you
9.
do you have the Flashpoint?
I have the movie and the whole series. It was,
Can I borrow the
we downloaded it. It's on my thing.
Anyway,
well, we might be able to check up a deal if you let me take the Shepherd book first.
Okay, Bonnie asked who your favorite Batman. Okay, in your mind, who is the worst Batman?
Ooh.
Me?
Same order, Brandon.
Oh, Brandon.
You're gonna get so mad at him right now.
I'm gonna have to go with actually George Clooney.
Really?
High five.
George Clooney? Really? George Clooney? I thought he'd been a pretty good Bruce Wayne.
He was trying to be Adam West.
He did a good Bruce
He
Wayne,
was.
I will
He
say.
really was.
There's only one Adam West.
You can't have another Adam West.
I will say I agree about the Bruce Wayne thing, but as Batman, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it.
I don't like the way they had the side, because they had his mask dip really deep in the sides, because they're trying to make it actually look like real bat ears.
I'll say, as far as like the worst Batman, I don't include wardrobe malfunction. Sorry, I'll say I don't include wardrobe malfunction.
Or nipples on the suit.
Yeah, that's malfunction right there.
Let's put nipples on his suit.
I don't.
Dumb.
Yeah,
I
include that in my decision because
know,
I
I don't
figure that's a costume thing.
Well, the funny thing about the nipple thing, and my
nipples are so hard they're sticking through my vinyl.
Yeah, the idea behind the nipples, and I watched the
Machine gun boobies.
Oh yeah,
jump this. How did I miss that?
I'm not gonna repeat the next line either.
Batman.
But
oh wow,
what was the director's name on that?
Who was directing that?
Joe Schumacher.
Yeah, it was Schumacher.
Schumacher built the Batsuit around Roman statues.
And they had nipples.
He was trying to build the Roman statue. So
still stupid.
It was stupid, but artistically, I could see what he was going for.
Anybody else in that movie should have been like, you know.
But the problem was this is
the Riddler.
I totally should.
Here's the problem with the nipples that came about, that became an issue.
Oh, that hurt me.
Is when the first pictures of the Batsuit came over to America, because they film it in Europe.
Yeah.
Everyone went apeshit over the nipples. They're still bitching about the nipples.
Yeah.
I can understand why.
They were building the Batsuit girl, the Bat, originally to have nipples.
The original one?
Batgirl?
The Batgirl was going to have nipples.
Why didn't they do that? That would have been way better.
Just like, well, she has nipples because they had to redesign the suit.
It doesn't look like nipples, though.
Instead of real nipples, she has these bats where her nipples would be. Because the ape shit over Batman and Robin having nipples, they had to go in and redesign Batgirl's nipples.
I need these pictures.
No, you don't. It's a horrible movie.
Alicia Silverstone, Alfred.
She was the worst. Okay, don't even get me started. Because I love Batgirl, okay? I love Barbara Gordon as Batgirl. What the flip? Alicia Silverstone, no. Bad choice anyway. And then Alfred's what?
Alfred's great.
It's Barbara Gordon. What the heck? I was so irritated.
They didn't even make her redheaded.
I will say, though,
hey,
I did like the
red hair was always part of the costume. She was a brunette.
And it started out, in the original Batman and show, it was a wig.
It was.
No, and I loved her.
But later in the comics, they made it her actual hair.
Between red and brunette, how do you get blonde?
I don't know. Exactly.
Well, no, because later on they changed that Gordon, before he went white haired, he had red hair.
Yeah.
Before his hair turned stone
He had
white.
like this cherry blonde.
It was like
thing
a cherry blonde
in year one.
I do want to say that through it all,
Bryan Cranston, awesome.
I still love that actor as Alfred. I just want to say.
Well, he was the original Alfred. He was Alfred for Adam West.
I know. I loved.
He was the Alfred for Adam West. That dude was so old by the time they did
Michael
the George
Gow.
Clooney.
Right?
I know.
I think that was his name.
Yeah.
He was so like when they did the George Clooney Batman, I was like, he's alive.
He is one of my favorite actors. So, well, he was, but I think he passed away.
Yeah. He
Okay, your Batman you hated.
I agree with.
Okay, Bonnie.
I have to hate a Batman. Batman's like one of my favorite characters.
You don't hate a Batman. You hate an actor who destroyed Batman.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I don't know. I didn't hate any of them.
Dislike.
No.
Least favorite.
My least favorite movie, but it wasn't necessarily because of the Batman. So I don't know.
Say Batman. Just come on.
Which one?
The one with Alicia Silverstone.
Oh,
George Clooney. Then.
But I don't so much hate George Clooney. I like Val Kilmer, but he's
she
not my
looks
favorite.
at George Clooney and she's like, I can't hate you.
I can't hate George Clooney because I love One Fine Day. So there you go. But okay. But I'll be honest, and some people are gonna be pissed at me. My least favorite Joker. Everybody got really quiet and focused. All of a sudden, I got intimidated.
Please don't say my favorite Joker.
You have a sword handy, right?
Yes.
No. Oh no, everybody's mad again.
No.
Okay.
Say it.
Yeah. from.
You better say the
My-
one from
no,
the Batman cartoon from the
no.
early 2000s.
Jack Nicholson is my least favorite Joker.
Okay.
Oh, you don't like Jack Nicholson?
You know why?
Why?
Because it's Jack Nicholson playing the Joker.
Because
Because Jack Nicholson can't be anyone other than himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he brought a good line. I thought
he put
I
on the
personally
Joker
thought-
costume. He gave it his best shot. I'm not saying he's
I thought
horrible,
he gave the Joker
but-
a very good spin though.
Now
but it was still Jack Nicholson.
here's the
I
thing
couldn't
about Jack
separate the actor
Nicholson
from the character.
that I say every time. Jack Nicholson made a fortune doing that film. What he did for money, DC wanted him so bad that they sold him to do the film 20% of Batman. Meaning,
Whoa!
He got a lot of Batman out of that.
meaning even today, off the top of their net gross of all Batman, they cut Jack Nicholson a check.
Oh, wasn't
Even
just that
Christian
movie?
Bale.
No, it's Lifetime.
Even the Christian Bale movies.
Oh my god.
He's gotten 20% of all
Everything
Batman-related
That's why
property.
it took so long to get the Batman Begins stuff going.
The video games, the comics, the movies.
Wow, good for
Today,
him.
Jack Nicholson gets a
He
check
can
cut.
handle the truth. Dang.
Jack Nicholson said very publicly, he didn't go into details of how much money he makes regularly, just on the comic stuff, but he said the deal he made back then set him up for life to where he could retire. And ever since Batman, every single movie he's done, he has chosen to do, not for financial reasons.
Well, that's good. That,
Um,
that allows
He
you
does
to
it.
be more
He's
of an
every
actor.
movie he's done, he's wanted to do.
The one thing that kind of bugs me is DC put him on the comp list. Now, I've wanted, my whole life, my goal is to get on the comp list.
He never picks it up.
Well, what it is every month they just send out their 52 books to the people on the comp list. They get free copies of all the comics. Jack Nicholson, not a big comic book fan, he has his 52 books donated to a school every month. It goes right to the school that he chose. So the school gets his comp list.
Good guy Jack
That's
Nicholson.
really cool, though.
He
It
went from
is.
scumbag Jack Nicholson to good guy Jack Nicholson.
You know, but the one thing, anytime they want Jack Nicholson to come on and do like a like a video or whatever, Jack Nicholson is obliged because of how much money they've paid him in the past to just show up and do featurettes on Batman films.
Yeah.
So he's in like some Batman documentaries that, you know, they went to his house and he put on his Batman lapel pen from the 80s movie and killed an hour out of the kindness because of the millions
Money
of
that
dollars
they've made
he's made
Heck
off
yeah,
of
I
Batman.
would too.
You know how you said that there's really not a Batman you don't like?
Yeah.
I say that about the Joker. There's really not a Joker that I've seen that I haven't really liked.
Caesar
It's
Romero's
not that I
good.
didn't.
Caesar Romero's my
Caesar
favorite.
Romero's fantastic.
He's
I
my
love
favorite.
Caesar Romero
I love
except
Caesar
the
Romero.
freaking mustache.
No, the mustache I'm
You know
okay
what?
with.
I
It's
think it's
endearing.
hilarious. I think
I think
it's
it's awesome.
hilarious.
I just don't like his laugh. His laugh never is.
It was
"Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo."
it was too
It's
kooky.
he hoo hoo. It's not like it's not sinister at any.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I
too
think
kooky.
that's why I liked it.
Yeah,
'Cause
it-
I like the more haha like Joker. And,
But
I
that
really-
hoo hoo. He does a hoo hoo. You know that.
well, I know, but I
yeah.
mean, I
like
think
it.
that's why I like
I-
it out of all of them.
I liked him. I liked Jack Nicholson because I thought he
I
gave
didn't
the
dislike
Joker a
Jack
darker. He
Nicholson,
gave the
but
Joker a
pick
darker
one.
spin. That was the
my
first
least
dark spin
favorite
on the Joker
of
I'd ever seen because I never read any of the '80s Batman with the really super twisted
Oh, it
Joker.
gets
I want
dark.
to say my
I
favorite.
never got to read any of those.
My favorite is Caesar Romero, and I know I'm probably gonna get some hate from this, but my least favorite. I mean, I don't hate, like I said, all of them. If I absolutely had to pick a least favorite, I'd probably go with Heath Ledger.
He loves
Actually, he's my favorite.
I like
it.
it.
I mean, I can see why people do like him.
I really like Heath Ledger, and not because he died or
No.
because I'm just a
He
big
was
fanboy of
good.
Heath Ledger. I really liked him because I thought he brought
He creeped me out.
it because that was the Joker. Yes, the Joker is the clown prince of crime, but at the same time, he is the world's greatest psychopath. Everything he did,
Oh, yeah.
he did because he felt like it.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
that
He
Heath Ledger.
burned literally a mountain of money because he wanted to, and he only kept enough to buy gas. He said, "He's like, I've only used enough to buy gasoline and bullets."
I'll say it's not that I don't like Heath Ledger. I'm just saying if I had to pick
Shannon pick least favorite.
least
Okay,
favorite.
so I have a question.
Mhm.
Everyone's favorite Batman
wait.
villain.
Least
Oh.
favorite Batman, Val Kilmer.
No.
He had no place being Batman. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, favorite villain?
Favorite Batman villain.
I'm gonna probably be a little odd here.
You're always a little odd.
little odd. But my favorite villain is an older villain, and they did him a few times in Brave and the Bold, but even in Brave and the Bold, he appeared as a punchline. Mm-hmm. Calendar Man. Calendar Man? Calendar, yes.
You're so sad I can't even punch you.
No, I like Calendar Man because he's a villain I'm rooting for.
For once, you're like, beat him.
Come on, Calendar Man. You know, it's the 4th of July.
Because you know the Joker will sit there and be like, you killed him?
Well, I'm rooting for Calendar Man. There's an episode, the first Batmite episode.
You wouldn't see it coming.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. Like, because then they're like, yeah, you hear Batman bit it today.
Kind of like...
No, wait, who got him? Killer Croc? No. Mr. Freeze? No. Oh, you know, the Joker's been going on for years. No. Who was it? Calendar Man. What the hell?
Kind of like in Harry Potter, Neville. I killed Harry Potter! You wouldn't see it coming.
Yeah.
But Calendar Man, they did him in the Arkham City game.
They did?
And they really, like, tried to creep... Like, the way they did him...
Did they just make him creepy?
Yeah, they made him, like, creepy and really...
I molest children on famous holidays.
You know, like, they really psychoed him
That's
up.
creepy.
They did this, like, leg boot extension thing. Like, I didn't like that version. I want my Calendar Man to wear a cape made of calendars. Like, I want the 1950s Calendar Man.
Nice.
Okay, Mike, who's your favorite Batman villain?
I'm not going to say Joker because he's everybody's favorite. Everybody's like, well, Joker, he's the total anti-Batman.
Well, besides the Joker then, okay?
Well, no, I'm not saying Joker. I do like him, but I'm not going to say him.
I don't mind, but I'm just hoping no one says it before it gets to me.
I'm going to say Mr. Freeze, but it's very specific Mr. Freeze.
Okay.
It's the Mr. Freeze from the Batman 1990s series. I can't remember the guy's name that did him, but he made an emotionless guy sound full of emotion.
That actor just passed away.
Yeah, he just passed away too.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy he just brought a whole new light to Mr. Freeze. The Mr. Freeze before, he was like, I freeze things.
I'll actually show you an image of the old Freeze from the Adam West series.
Yeah, he didn't...
That's what Freeze looked like before.
And he had emotion, and he was slightly kooky, like most Batman villains. But when they brought this out, he showed you this inner pain of the guy, like, because you find out, you know, at first he was trying to save his wife Nora, and there was a horrible chemical accident, and it made him frozen and devoid of emotion. Like, the first line I've ever heard him deliver was, "I would cry tears if I had
tears to.
I would cry if I had tears to cry." And it's like, oh, and like it's just so deadpan, but at the same time you're like, it's soul crushing.
Yeah.
And then you find out about Nora, and you're like, oh my gosh, it hurts.
Your favorite Batman villain?
I kind of have two answers.
That's okay.
Blanket, just favorites overall. I'm gonna say Riddler.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see how that would be your favorite. I love Manny.
Yeah.
I like
Riddler's cool.
I like him because I like the idea of the villain. Like, just the whole idea of him is kind of cool. I think.
Guy who's just trying to stump people and kill them at the same time.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things is, you know, I was told about this by Brandon. There's one where he figures out who Batman is, and
because the Riddler really did find out who.
Yeah,
in
he
the
found out.
Hush Run. Yeah.
Yeah, and Batman's like, you're not going to tell anybody though. Why not? And he's like, because you hate when everyone knows what the answer to a riddle is. He's like, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like,
there's this like 3-panel shot of Riddler in silence, like, oh, like you know, like Batman's got me so figured out. He knows I'm not going to tell.
He truly would hate it if everyone knew the answer to the riddle. You know.
But there's one. Like, in the Arkham Asylum game with the Riddler, have you listened to his case file recordings for him?
Some of them.
They made him so more sinister, like how I knew he could be. Because the lady, he's like, I have a riddle for you. What walks on 4 legs, then walks on 2 legs, and then walks on 3 legs? She goes, man, 4 legs as a baby, 2 legs as an adult, and 3 legs as an old man, because he has a cane. He goes, wrong! All 3 answers are a baby. 4 legs. He walks on 4 legs. Then he walks on 2 legs when you cut off 2, and then he walks on 3 when you give him a cane. And I was like, that's the creepy Riddler right there.
Yeah. All right, Maylene, you said you had 2 answers.
Plus, he always wore a suit.
I'll say I am willing to change my answer when watching Batman and Brave and the Bold, because I like the Mad Hatter in Brave and the Bold.
The Mad Hatter was
Hatter's
really
pretty
cool.
I've never read any comics with him in it.
Did you ever see the Royal Flush Gang?
Um,
Those guys were pretty cool, especially in Batman Beyond.
That was a villain that was just created in the
Yeah,
series.
they were just in the TV. They were just in the TV series, but they were good.
They've been so popular that
I'll
they've
say
made
they made it
I
into the
think the
comics
reason
now.
why I like Mad Hatter so much is because I love a villain with a literary theme. I do. I
Yeah.
love the fact that
Same here.
he totally went like crazy and everything, and totally.
The question mark.
And I love how his super moves were Tweedledee and Tweedledum or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, that's amazing.
Well, did you ever see? I can't remember if it was a Batman cartoon or if it was part of the Justice League, but the Royal Flush Gang gets a hold of that girl with the psychic ability,
That's Justice League.
and it's just like, but that is just so crushing right there because the lady's like, Batman goes in and he's like, you have to kill her, like that's the only option, you have to kill her, but she's already they don't know she's already dying, and he goes in there and he just sees her and he's just like, I can't do it. He goes,
Batman had to kill a kid.
He said no. He saw her and he was ready to do it too, but then he saw her and he like,
I can't do it.
I do this. I've turned my back on everything I stand for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the girl's like, I'm going to die, aren't I? And he's, yeah. And so he sits down next to her on the swing in silence, and he just sits there and spends her last few hours alive with her.
Oh, that's really
So what about you, Bonnie?
That is the most heartbreaking
so
scene
my
I've ever
favorite,
seen.
and I wasn't exactly happy with how I liked him in the cartoon series, and I didn't like how they pulled him out in the movie. I have two favorites, and they're both from the cartoon series, and I don't think they could ever really be really well done. I liked the Scarecrow,
Oh, okay.
but I like him in the cartoon series, and I didn't
Not
think they did a
the-
very good. I was so excited that they brought him into the movie because he was one of my favorites. That most people were like,
I
"Oh,
kinda
who's that?"
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't.
I liked him in Begins because I thought, okay, this is an origin story for the Scarecrow.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I liked
and
that too.
I liked that, but I
did
still
too.
liked him.
I hate
from
how
the
they made him a joke in the next two.
Yeah, but I liked him in Begins. All right, but my favorite, and they can never do a live action because it will never be right, is the puppet Scarface.
Oh, yeah, it would look too.
And the
Oh.
puppeteer. It would be too weird. But like I remember
Well,
an episode in the cartoon where literally everyone is knocked out, including the puppeteer, and the puppet's still freaking talking
Yeah.
Mhm.
and like moving on his own, and it's the creepiest, most awesome bad guy, but he only
The
works in
ventriloquist.
Well,
yeah.
somebody actually
Yeah.
did
yeah.
it was a low budget. It was a YouTube
When he
movie.
calls dummy, he calls
Yeah,
dummy. The
dummy,
the
yeah.
It was a YouTube movie that they did, and you see this real fidgety guy with glasses. He's always fixing his glasses, and there's a suitcase, and it's locked. And then ultimately, it's a guy who's supposed to be the Riddler, and he's real debonair, and he's wearing a bowl, and he's talking, and they're talking about the Batman, and it's all and it's supposed to be all the events that happened before Batman quit. It was supposed to be what happened between 2 and 3, and ultimately, you find out like open the case, and they find the case. And it's Scarface. The dummy looked a little campy, but the voice and the working and everything, like he actually had the guy hold up his hand with the gun and shoot one of the guys.
Because he's so freaking
It was
awesome. Like
awesome.
he's so
It
twisted.
looked good.
I love
He was
it.
a good villain. I
did-
actually do have a second.
That was a case where the cartoon took liberties with the character because the character in the comics to that time sucked because he was a bad ventriloquist.
Yeah.
He couldn't ventriloquist his bees right. And so the cartoon took liberties because it was always Fat Man, I see, the dummy. And so the cartoon just dumped all that out and made him dark and,
And
creepy.
creepy as
And I liked that though.
I do.
Okay, I do have a second.
Yeah.
They're mostly a sidekick, but I really like them because they've gone out on their own and they've done things. It's Harley Quinn.
I like Harley Quinn.
Oh,
Okay,
Harley
as a woman, I love all of the really good villainesses. I love Harley Quinn. I have to say, I love Poison Ivy, and I love Catwoman. Even though sometimes she's a good guy, sometimes she's a bad guy.
I really
love her.
like Catwoman.
Yeah.
She's really great.
And I love Batgirl because as a woman,
Because-
I feel that the Batman females are always, they're written
I really like
strong.
Catwoman
They may not
because
always be portrayed properly, but they're written.
I've
strong.
always really liked Catwoman. I have my problems with Poison Ivy, just because there's a lot of people that don't portray her correctly.
Yes, I agree, but I like.
They
Poison Ivy.
overcamp her.
Oh, she was great in the cartoon though.
Yeah.
In the cartoon, she was really great. I've seen her in Brave and the Bold. I didn't like how they had her there. The Arkham Asylum game, they upped her sexiness, but that's not my sell point for her. They actually made her very devious,
Yeah.
Honestly,
past the point of kiss me.
Honestly, Harley Quinn is my favorite of the female.
I really
She's
like
great. She's my favorite.
And I don't like her because, a lot of people love her. And I don't like her just because of Bangham. I think she's really cool because you actually got to see her origins.
Mad love, yeah.
It was mad love. It shows what love can do to a person. She fell in love with the Joker. Now, there's always been debate whether he did it just to get out of prison or if he actually felt something for this woman.
Black and White, Alex Ross did a short that is probably one of the best Joker shorts ever. And it's Alex Ross, so everything's hand-painted.
Yeah.
And it's these two doctors in Arkham Asylum going, oh shit, he's coming back. And they're sitting there, and they're going through all these old reports of the Joker and stuff.
Yeah.
They're filing, and they come across this unnamed report. And they're going through, and it is the best psychological analysis of the Joker.
It's by Harleen Quinzel.
Yeah. At the end of the short, Harley is in a straitjacket being driven by, and she starts quoting the end of the report, and the doctor goes, whoa, 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 how do you know this report? And she goes, because I wrote it. And
I wrote it.
The two doctors look at each other and goes, you realize this is probably the truth. And he drove her insane to keep this from being credible.
Yep. Yeah. She perfectly profiled him. Mm-hmm. She's the only person to ever perfectly profile him. But by perfectly profiling him, she went insane. And then going insane, insanity loves crazy loves company.
Yeah.
She ended up falling in love with him.
Let this be a lesson, kids. Never fall in love. You'll go crazy.
I love that Mad Love issue. But
we're way over time.
We're way over time. We're at an hour and 30. Yeah. Some odd minutes. Luckily, it's a podcast, and so we thank you for listening.
Give Ben Affleck a chance.
Give Ben Affleck a chance.
We'll give him a chance. I'll wait.
He was Daredevil, and I thought he was a good Daredevil.
Okay. All right, we're just gonna say goodbye. Thank you for listening.
I had to get my 2 cents in. You heard it straight from the table.
He's a man.
The following podcast was a production by Destiny Comics, sponsored by DestinyComics.wix.com/comics. Recorded live in Hemet, California. Produced by executive producer Michael Sanders. A special thanks to any and all guests who participated in the previous podcast. This concludes our broadcasting hour. Thank you.